According to Open Doors, more than 365 million Christians in 50 countries suffer from persecution and discrimination because of their faith. In parts of Africa, 1 in every 5 Christians suffer some kind of persecution. This is especially true in Nigeria, where advocates, including my next guest, have called on the Biden administration to respond to the ongoing wave of persecution in that country. Joining me now to discuss the situation, not only in Nigeria and other parts of the world, Director of the Center for Religious Freedom at the Hudson Institute, Nina Shea. Nina, thanks for coming back. According to Open Doors, a staggering 90% of all Christians killed for their faith are killed in Nigeria. Over Christmas, we saw the 140 Christians just massacred in that country. Yet earlier this month, the Biden administration rejected recommendations from leading human rights groups, religious freedom groups like your own, to reverse course, and they failed to designate Nigeria as one of the worst offenders of religious freedom in the world. Why? Why did they remove them from that list?
Well, Raymond, you're right. It is the worst place in the world. Open Doors has even come out just this month saying that there are more Christians killed in Nigeria for their faith than everywhere else in the world combined. And yet it's been left off this list because the administration's analysis is that this is the results of climate change, not religious animus. And that's absurd because these Christians are being targeted. There's a larger situation of lawlessness in Nigeria, but they're systematically being attacked in these massacres, largely by Fulani militants. These are nomadic tribe of Muslim militants. And they're yelling Allahu Akbar as they slaughter the Christian farmers in their fields, in their beds at night. They're going after Catholic priests, Methodist bishops, even a couple of imams who are too moderate for their taste. So it's definitely a religious motive behind this. And the other part of this is that, which is critical for this country of particular concern list, the world's worst countries for religious persecution, is that the government of Nigeria, Abuja, lets this go on with impunity. No one is ever arrested, prosecuted, and charged for these crimes. And millions of Christians have been driven from their lands, are now internally displaced within Nigeria, totally mendicant, totally dependent on aid, whatever the aid they can get through the church usually, lost their livelihoods, lost some of their loved ones, lost their farms. And the government does nothing to stop it.
Yeah, Blinken was just there. And I know he's under some pressure because in addition to, this human massacre of Christians, you also have these indiscriminate military attacks where they're bombing refugee camps and, and they claim, oh, it was a mistake. Why won't they, A, condemn this regime and rein it in? We give them a lot of aid. I know you've sent a letter to Congress, along with Congress, rather, asking them to respond to the Department of State's failure to adequately address all of this systematic, ongoing religious persecution. What response have you received?
Well, we have received no response except a rejection of our proposal to name it in this list, which is a fairly, moderate step. It's simply to identify them and put some pressure on the government. They do receive $1 billion a year in U.S. foreign aid. And, wow. And it keeps going up because the situation keeps spiraling out of control. This is Africa's most populous country. It's one of its wealthiest. It's probably its wealthiest. Yet there really is very little attention to this problem of lawlessness. It starts with attacks on the religious minorities, particularly the Christians, which is very large. It's almost half the country, half the population. And then it spirals out, and it spins out of control. It never stays with just the Christian after many years. It started with the kidnapping of Christian girls, Leah Sharibu, who's still a slave now after being kidnapped from her school, and the Chibok schoolgirls, the same thing. And then it started attacking all schools. These militants. Some of them just wanting to shut down Western-style education, others wanting just money. and hostages. So it's really not going to help American interests to have a destabilized regional influencer like Nigeria in the clutches of not just one, but 3 or 4 or 5 Islamic extremist groups: Boko Haram, ISIS, Al Qaeda. They're all there, and now the Fulani Muslims are becoming radicalized. Not all of them, but some of them.
Wow. Intersociety, a Nigeria-based nonprofit, has reported that 52,000 Christians have been killed and more than 14 million Christians forced to flee Nigeria since 2009. How is this not a religious genocide, Nina? And explain to me how the Biden administration figures that this is climate change in action.
And they also found out that 18,000 churches have been burned or damaged. And this is happening in, what's very vivid and clear is when you look at one of their states, Benue State. It's in the northern central part of Nigeria, right outside of Abuja, not far. And it's the capital. And it's about 90% Christian. And this year, I think just in this past 12 months or so, they've had 2 million Christians internally displaced because of wave after wave of these Fulani massacres, again, attacking farmers. And the Fulani don't live there. They are invading from outside, from another state or maybe even another country. And when these Christians flee to the refugee camps, internal camps for aid, because they have to leave their villages, they're attacked there too. So they're going after them, not just for land, but because they don't want their presence at all in the country.
Awful situation. Well, we've been covering it for years. We have to keep our eyes on it and make sure the audience knows about it. But Congress should step in, and certainly the administration. I want to move on, Nina, to China, where earlier this month, Catholic Bishop Peter Shea was arrested by security forces who told him to, quote, bring clothes for every season. Bishop Shea was, by the way, ordained by Benedict XVI by papal mandate in 2011. However, he is not recognized by the Communist Chinese authorities due to his refusal to join the Patriotic Association. And this is not the first time that this bishop has been arrested. Have Chinese authorities given any reason for his arrest this time? Or does anyone have any idea why he was taken?
No, there's no reason. There's no, except that he hasn't joined this patriotic group, which means that he refuses to take a vow of distancing himself, of independence from the Vatican, from the Pope. So because he remains a faithful to the Pope and to the Catholic doctrine, he is being taken away. And he's usually been taken away, multiple times over the years, maybe 7, 8 times, for various lengths of time, sometimes most of a year. And he's sometimes just taken away for special holy days or holidays so that he cannot say Mass. And this time it was very ominous because they told him to bring clothes for all seasons, indicating that he'd be there for a long time. But this is completely without due process. So there is no trial. There's no charges.
But Nina, where is the Vatican in all of this? I mean, and I want you to tie it to this story that's breaking today. Bishop Thadio Wang Huxiang, who was consecrated a bishop within the framework of this Vatican-China agreement today. Pope Francis made his episcopal appointment back in December, but we're only hearing news of it once the man's already consecrated. What is going on here?
The Vatican is clinging to this agreement as if China's upholding it, but China's not. Beijing has breached the agreement several years ago, about 2 years ago, and the Vatican does not want to criticize Beijing in any way, so that it will, in fact, go further than that. They will praise Beijing, saying it upholds climate standards, which it doesn't. It's one of the worst. So it praises China and refuses to criticize them, even when their own bishops are being appointed behind their back. I mean, when Beijing is appointing their own bishops behind the Vatican's back, or when they're putting the Pope's consecrated bishops with a papal mandate in prison or in secret black jails. This is unofficial detention centers, which is where Bishop Shea is today.
Is that what you think happened here, that Beijing dropped this bishop on Rome? So that's why it's kind of coming out. We only learn about it during the consecration rather than an earlier announcement and a formal appointment by Rome?
Yes, I think that under the agreement, the Vatican has indicated that the Pope has a say. He at least has a veto power, and it turns out not to be true in a number of cases, the last number of episcopal appointments by Beijing. And he has, ex post facto, the Pope has agreed with it, but didn't have any advance notice, much less the right to veto. So that's the problem here, and it's a fiction. It's a legal fiction at this point. And the Pope, for the sake of unity, he says he's going along with these bishops, but these bishops, may not be, are not his choice. And Peter Shea, the Bishop Shea, who did have a papal mandate, one of the reasons that they think that his diocese thinks that he was put away in this black jail just this month is that he wrote a letter to a priest in his diocese who was appointed by the Patriotic Church, who started transferring parishes away out of the diocese and doing things without the episcopal approval of Peter Shea, Bishop Shea. And he said that's a violation of canon law. And he wrote that letter, and the next thing he knew, he was under arrest and thrown into a secret detention place.
We have to pray for all those people in China, particularly the faithful clergy and parishioners. It's a tragedy there, and the fact that Rome is blessing this makes it even worse and makes the wound deeper. Nina Shea, thank you for all your reportage on this and your ongoing vigilance of the persecution of Christians worldwide. You can learn more at hudson.org. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you, Raymond.